When it comes to crafting, getting the best result is often in the little tricks. I have some basic tips to help you get a perfect result with your stencils and paste every time. So let's go! Make sure to start with a good base. You want a flat, smooth and sturdy surface. I have the Make Art Station. You can use your work surface or media mat or other glass mat as long as it's sturdy and smooth. Next you need some good tools to apply the paste. I like the longer silicone palette knife to apply the paste over a bigger surface or if I want to fill a pattern. I also have the media spatulas. These are great for adding paste to smaller areas and I will show and tell you more about them in a bit. Another tool you can use is an old gift card. The best are the sturdy ones. I have one with my name on it and that my husband made for me, so how cool is that? Tip 3. Make sure your surface stays in place. The Make Art Station is pretty slippery, as is my desk, so I put a piece of cloth under it to prevent it from moving. This really helps it to stay in place. This also goes for cutting boards in the kitchen, just so you know. The next tip, if you are new to stencils, pick shapes or patterns that are mostly attached to each other, so with as little parts that stick out as possible. This will make it so much easier to get a great result. Here on this stencil you have the little swirls that aren't completely attached, which makes it a bit more advanced. This stencil is another good beginner's option, and here's another great stencil to start out with the fun circles. When you first start with the paste, you want to try one that's not too thick and not too thin, like the Nuvo Glacier Paste or the Ranger Texture Paste Gloss and Matte. The Grit Paste and the Texture Paste Opaque Matte are a bit more sturdy, good to try if you practiced a bit. And the stickles are definitely a bit harder to work with. Let me show you and give you some more tips. First I add the magnets. This will help hold the stencil in place. I will show you another way in a bit. I start with the Nuvo paste, and this is a nice soft paste, a bit like soft peanut butter, and it's very easy to spread. So I pick up some with my spatula and then I start spreading it over the stencil. You can fill the complete card or just a piece, just what goes best with your design or what feels best. Another tip is to hold your tool at an angle, as you can see here. Then you can add the tool and paste and spread it out and lift it up again. Let me show you what happens if you hold it flat. It then sort of sticks to the paste and the paper, and this way you can lift the stencil and have a big chance of paste coming under the stencil, which is probably not what you are going for. So hold the tool at an angle. This goes for all the tools. I fill the rest of the card and then add the excess back in the pot. We are almost home free. I have another tip. I take off the magnets first and now I lift the stencil from one corner, holding the other corner in place so it doesn't shift, and then I just pick it up sort of diagonal. I set the stencil aside and I will show you something more in a bit. But first, what I like to do with the bits of paste that are hanging over the edge, I wipe it downwards so the paste stays in place within the pattern. If you wipe it away from top to bottom along the side of the paper, you kind of connect the parts of the pattern. Just a little detail, but I like the effect. I set the card aside to dry. I clean the spatula and I clean the station with a baby wipe. I add the stencil on another card to the side with the paste facing up, and then I go over it with a baby wipe. And I basically clean the stencil on another card, and this gives such a super cool result. You can see sort of a shadow effect along the edges of the pattern. And you have to clean the stencil anyway, right? Another way to keep your stencil in place is tape. Use the not super sticky tape with the stencil in place on the card. Turn them over and add the tape to the back along the long sides. Half on the card and half on the stencil. And then turn them over again and it's ready to apply the paste. And you can see the tape holds the stencil perfectly in place too. I use the Texture Paste Opaque Matte. This one is much thicker. It's like a thick sturdy peanut butter. The trick with thicker paste, apply a thick layer to start with and then start taking off the excess paste. With a thicker paste you have to work it in much more, so I don't recommend the paste like this to start out with. You can use the palette knife or the media spatula like I use here, as I wanted to show you that too. It's also a personal choice what you prefer, but the same rule applies. Hold it at an angle and you can see that it's harder to get a smooth result with a smaller tool. And then take off the stencil in the same way. You can take off the tape right away, or you can do that after drying, less chance of messing your card up. And here you can see it's a real nice thick layer with lots of dimension. And with this paste you can do the same trick, cleaning the stencil on another card. It'll give you a different effect, which is so cool. Another tip, if you have a thinner paste, this one is like really soft cream cheese to use some more food, try to spread this all over the card in one take from top to bottom and then spread it to the sides in a few moves. The less you spread, the less chance you have of the paste going under the stencil. Another tip, keep the edge of your pot clean. And this way the lid seals the pot and you prevent the paste from drying out. Now this is the matte paste, the gloss paste works the same. And here are they after drying. To make them stand out more, I add some ink with an ink blending tool and you can see the pattern appear. And here are the two finished cards. And sometimes I do actually clean. I take my stencils to the sink and add some soap and then clean them between my hands. So I wash the stencil and my hands at the same time and then rinse with water and let it air dry or just pat them dry. I also want to show you using the card as a tool with the Distress Crackle paste. This paste is a medium thickness, also great for beginners. I just pick some up with the card and add it on the stencil, holding it at an angle and spreading the paste. And I like this as a tool too. It's really easy to work with. And this is a simple tip. Don't forget you can turn the complete station or you can turn your card or tool if that's easier to apply your paste. At this point you don't want to mess it up, right? Another tip to help you pick up the card with the wet paste, take a pointy tool or a skewer and put that under the card to lift it. And this way you can easily go under with your hand and move it to a secure place to let it dry. And this is the finished card I made with the background. The stickle gel has some really chunky bits in it and it's gel, so it's a bit different from the rest. And it has a funny texture, a bit like not too soft cheese spread, yes, some more food. I picked a stencil with big openings because of the chunky bits, so they will look at their best. Because of the thickness I pick up quite a bit and add that on the stencil and then I spread it like the other paste. You really need to work this in, it's quite a tough gel. You can apply it a bit thicker so it covers more. I like the thin and thick so it looks more transparent and a bit filled here and there. And then I let it dry. The bigger chunky bits are really cool. I added some black letters cut out of foam and kept the card real simple. As I promised, I would show you how I finished the cards I made in the beginning. I add a piece of tape on my card and then I add some white thread. This is always good for some fun texture. I just let it fall on the card. At this point I should have added the leaves. Just so you know. I have some old music paper and I tear a piece and I add that on top of the thread. So it's peeking out from under the music paper. And then I add a leaf and I cut off a piece because the music paper is already on the card. So for the other leaves I peel the paper off again. It's just a little bit easier. And then I add the other two leaves. Then I tear off the bits that are sticking out. Next I tear the vellum so it fits on the music paper, not covering it completely. And then I'm going to add the heart. Some tape to the back of the heart and some more tape to the back of the vellum to add it blind. Here's the finished card and the card with the other background. Give these tips and tricks a try next time you are working with stencils and paste on your cards or paper crafting projects. And as always, make sure to keep on crafting!